Kira from KiraWilliamsFitness.com, and today is the second part of my two-part podcast / YouTube video series on hormone imbalance systems and symptoms, and the systems that we use and support to be able to fix these hormone imbalance symptoms that we are experiencing. So those symptoms may be anything from having fat loss resistance to experiencing poor sleep or sleep disturbances, anxiety or poor mood, depression, just any kind of mood disturbance. Then having like major bloat or digestive symptoms, especially constipation, cravings, fatigue, even thinning hair and nails. So in the last episode, I talked all about blood sugar balance and how supporting and making sure that your blood sugar is balanced will help decrease those symptoms, as well as the detoxification pathways that are necessary to support and ensure that they are running quite well, and how those are going to help you mitigate those symptoms. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that, because those are two major players in this. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the nervous system. I also talked a lot about the digestive system too in last week's. So we can kind of cross that off. I'm looking down at my notes if you're watching this on YouTube. But we're going to talk a little bit about the nervous system. We're really going to talk about diet and habit choices, and sleep and stress, and how the things that you can do that are going to play a role in this. So I just want to dive right in actually to stress, because that's going to include the nervous system. So one quick note on the nervous system, we're really focused on the two parts, the sympathetic nervous system, so that's going to be fight or flight mode, and the parasympathetic nervous system, and that's rest and digest. And these are kind of yin and yang, right? So we're either in sympathetic mode or parasympathetic mode. And parasympathetic mode is chill, and sympathetic mode is like stress and so that's why stress and the nervous system kind of go hand in hand here. So we're going to talk about things that we can do to mitigate stress that will have a positive impact on our nervous system. And then our nervous system is going to play a role in every other system in our body. So when we have chronic stress, we have elevated cortisol. Now, cortisol is good. If you listen to the last episode, you know cortisol is a catabolic hormone. It breaks down. So when we are in a state of chronic stress, then we constantly have that cortisol running through our body, which isn't what we want, because if we're constantly breaking down, then chances are we're probably going to get sick more often, because it's going to have an impact on our immune system. But when it's chronically elevated in our body just goes, I don't care anymore. And it ignores it. And then that is going to steal from our progress. So we do like to have, hang on one second, Ellie? Okay, cool. I've got dogs with lick pads back there, and I just want to make sure that all is good. Hey, Ellie, don't bite it, honey. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hey, Ellie, we're not biting this. No. We're just gonna lick. There you go, girl. Yeah, we're not. It's not supposed to come off. We're gonna take a pause on that. Okay, so sorry about that. Anyhow, life of a dog mom, right? So anyhow, hey, this is my mother-in-law's dog. We still have Frank. He's just over there. So anyway, when we have cortisol chronically present, it's going to steal from our progress, because we like cortisol to be in our body so that we, like, let's say, for example, we do like a little 10-minute AMRAP where we get our heart rate up and we're super sweaty and we're breathing really heavily. That is going to elevate our cortisol, and that's going to help us burn fat. So when we have chronically elevated cortisol, those things don't work anymore. And that's going to steal from our progress. But it can also have an impact on your cycle too. When we have certain times where our body is going to be like, especially in the first part of our cycle, for those of us who are still menstruating or in perimenopause who still have a cycle, the earlier part of the cycle, we are a lot like our estrogen and our progesterone levels are higher, they're happier, and we are a lot more sensitive to things. And then on the back half of our cycle, we are less sensitive to things. And so that cortisol is not only going to impact our levels, but our levels are going to impact our cortisol. And so we're just not as sensitive to that cortisol in the back half of the cycle, which that's neither bad nor good. But if we want to use cortisol at our advantage, then having it chronically elevated, now we can't use it to that advantage no matter where we are in our cycle. And that, you know, when women are in perimenopause, they're generally more stressed out anyways because of all of the different things that are going on in the body, all of the different fluctuations. And so increasing our cortisol levels from stress, not just doing conditioning workouts, but under eating is a stressor on the body, or not getting enough sleep is a stressor on the body, or having a ton of work projects, or having those like constant gotta-minute meetings, or having people at home who are not supportive of the things that you're doing. Like, all of these things that are stressors on our body are only going to bog it down and even like an already stressed out body. So we have to then do things that help decrease the stress so that we don't have cortisol just running rampant. Again, cortisol is not a bad thing. Doing conditioning workouts is not a bad thing. How you do them, when you do them, and how you recover from them is very, very important. But all of this stuff just compounds with our energy levels, our irritability, our ability to sleep. We want to try and get into that parasympathetic dominated mode. So even if you go through life and like traffic sucks and you hate your job and your family are a whole bunch of brats, we can still deal with that, with all of those stressors, if we bring things into our body that put us into a more parasympathetic dominant mode. So what are those things that we can do? And all of these different things are going to speak to different people. Like, I have no desire to meditate. I'm sorry, but like, I tried it there for a little while of my life, and like, I never felt like it really did much for me. And I know that there are people out there who swear by meditation and would tell me that I just need to do it more, but it just doesn't speak to me. Sitting in silence and breathing, I don't know. It just doesn't really do it for me. Granted, I'm very fortunate. I don't have a ton of stress, but so maybe meditation is awesome for you. I love it. I support it. I condone it. But if that doesn't speak to you, maybe some of these do. You can do these tapping exercises. I don't really know a lot about tapping, but you can YouTube videos and you're like, da, 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 da. There's certain sequences that you do that's tapping. Then there's literally singing. It stimulates your vagal nerve, and that can be very calming. I'm a fantastic singer. Personally, I sing Jessica Simpson all the time. I sing like a Disney princess to my dogs, and like it's amazing. And my dogs love it. I'm just kidding. But that can be a stress relief. Going for a walk, just like going for a walk. And if you do it after you eat, then that's even better because that's going to help your digestive system. And help balance your blood sugar. Just having like some kind of quiet time. Maybe you journal. Maybe you write a list of gratitude. Now, if sitting down to journal stresses you out, then that's probably not the right thing for you. Maybe you sit down. I used to have a client that did connect the dots. That was like very therapeutic for her. Adult coloring books. Just going into the shower and like doing deep breathing. That one is actually one that I love. Just like, because in the shower, you know, you typically don't get disturbed too much and you can just like kind of be calm. That's one of my favorite ones. But the more we can bring these parasympathetic activities into our life, the more that we're going to lower our overall stress levels, which we need to have them. We need to lower our overall stress so that way the stress that we're already getting from having hormonal fluctuations doesn't have as much of an impact on us. Okay, I think I've talked enough about stress. Let's move on. Let's talk about sleep. Sleep is a big one. And I wish that everyone could just get 8 hours of straight sleep and deep sleep and everything would be amazing. But we have to do things to ensure that we get good sleep. So we'll talk about those things in a second, but I just want to bring up that when you're in the first couple hours of sleep, typically between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m., research shows, we get more human growth hormone. Our body creates it on its own. That growth hormone it affects every single cell in our body. It helps rejuvenate everything in our body. Sleep is incredibly important. If we want to be healthy, we need sleep. 7 to 9 hours, non-negotiable. Now, there are things that can wake you up in the night. If you're in perimenopause, you get a hot flash, you're probably going to wake up. If you get a blood sugar drop and then cortisol or adrenaline spike to bring your blood sugar back up, it's probably going to wake you up. Those things are sort of not in your control, but sort of in your control. And we'll talk about things that you can do to control them. But we really need to focus on the things that we can do. So, all right, let's say if you have like a baby, I got nothing for you. I'm not like a mom coach. If you've got a baby that wakes you up in the middle of the night, this is a whole different ball game for you. You're probably going to have to wake up in the middle of the night. That's why I didn't have kids. And then if you have kids who are a little older who come and get into your bed in the middle of the night, it's probably going to wake you up. That's not really in your control, but there are things that are. So let's talk about the things that are. Go sleep in another bedroom. If your husband snores, sleep in another bedroom. Wear earplugs. If your dog, my dog Frank, he likes to climb up in the bed in the middle of the night. Sometimes that wakes me up. Sometimes I put up a pillow barrier so that way he can't jump on the bed in the middle of the night if I want to sleep in my bed. Sometimes I will sleep on the couch because I know that he's going to want to jump up on the bed in the middle of the night. My husband snores. I don't want to deal with either of those things. I know I need a good night's sleep. I will just sleep on the couch. Make sure your mattress is comfortable. Set your AC really low before you go to bed. Don't have screens in the bedroom. Make sure that you've got blackout curtains or you wear an eye mask so that way it's really dark. Like all of those things are within your control that you can do for sleep. Guess what else is? What you eat before you go to bed. Don't eat a whole bunch of carbs. Don't sit down and have like a plate of pasta that has no protein and no fiber and no fat on it. Not that, I mean, I guess some people probably do eat a bowl of pasta with some cheese and butter on it. Don't do that. Make sure that your food has protein, fat, and fiber. So that way you don't get like a big sugar spike and then a super crazy drop in the middle of the night. Also dessert. Like I've had a lot of clients who will eat like a really balanced dinner, but then have dessert before they go to bed. And that right there can cause a drop and then a peak that wakes you up. That can also, a blood sugar imbalance can also be a huge cause for hot flashes. So eat right. And if you don't know what that means, go back and listen to the last episode because I talk a lot about blood sugar balance there. There are certain supplements that can really be helpful for balancing blood sugar, like berberine is one of them. That can help with hot flashes because it helps balance your blood sugar. And then, you know, for those of you guys who are on hormone replacement therapy, like HRT is not the magic bullet. It's not the thing that is going to all of a sudden, now you're sleeping better. All of a sudden, you're not having blood sugar imbalances. All of a sudden, you're not stressed out. It helps, but you've got to lay the foundation. You've got to do all of these things. Otherwise, you're probably still going to be dealing with some of your symptoms. And by making sure that you are getting an adequate amount of sleep, guess what? You're supporting your nervous system. So guess what? Now you're going to be able to cope with stress a lot better. And so now you're not dealing with the fallout from a massive amount of stress. If your nervous system is in good working order, then you're going to be able to detox your body better. You are going to have more balanced blood sugar. You are going to have a happier digestive system. So you're not like, I mean, how many times have you gotten like anxious poops before, right? So if our nervous system is in good working order, then we're going to have a more steady digestive system. So that way we're absorbing all of the minerals and vitamins that we get from our healthy foods. So nervous system is like, it's like we've got all of these different things, but then the nervous system, I swear, it governs all of them. And we can support our own nervous system through doing things like getting good sleep and not allowing our stressors to have like just run away with our whole body. There are so many things that are within our control, that are within our domain, that we need to master before we throw in the towel. There's so much that you can do. Like maybe you do have kids that wake you up in the middle of the night, but can you still make a healthy dinner? Yeah, you absolutely can. Maybe you have kids that wake you up in the middle of the night, but can you strength train later in the day? Yes, you absolutely can. Do you have, maybe you're bloated and you have period cramps, but can you just kind of deal with it and go do a workout anyway? Yes. Can you deal with it and still make yourself meal prep on Sundays? Yes, you can. So there are so many things that are within your control that if you do them, then you will not deal with so many of the other symptoms from having hormone imbalances. Where to start though? Start with the thing that speaks to you, the thing that you feel like is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that like strength training might be the best thing for you, but it might be the hardest thing for you the hardest hurdle for you to jump as a person and where you're at in your life. And maybe the easiest hurdle for you to jump is doing meal prep. So that way you always have healthy food on hand. So that way you can eat in a way that your blood sugar is balanced. Then you know what? Do that. If you need someone to come in and look at your whole life and say, I think this is where you should start. Start with this one. I got you. If you, shoot. So yeah, the root cause protocol it's coming, it's on its way. I'm recording this in November 2025. It's coming next month. I'm actually going to be doing hair tissue and mineral analysis, so we can literally look at what's going on with your adrenals, what's going on with your blood sugar, what's going on with your nervous system, what's going on with your hormones. It's this great 10,000 foot view of like all of the different systems of your body. We're going to look at that. And if you're open to trying, like, hey, you know what, I want to try like 4 or 5 things, like I just don't know which one is going to be the best one for me, that's going to give me the most bang for my buck. Doing the hair tissue mineral analysis kind of like looks at things at this 10,000 foot view and goes, start here. And so that's what we'll do. So be on the lookout. The root cause reset is coming. Will be open in January. More on that. In December, though, I'm going to have a wait list, and we can figure out what the best place for you is going to be based on the signs, the symptoms, the things that are going on in your body, the minerals, the mineral status of your body, and then come up with a plan that is going to be specifically for you. That way you get the most bang for your buck and you start feeling better fast. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, if you have any questions about this, please reach out to me, KiraWilliamsFitness.com. There's a contact form on my website if you have any questions or if you want to chat more. Thank you for watching. And if you didn't watch the first part of this video, go back and watch that because it's going to give you lots of good insights.